Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. This video is a collaboration with Sonja, the domestic diva, and Sandra over at the Chauvin's Nest, and it is a Trash to Treasure DIY challenge, Christmas or winter. The links to both of their channels will be down in the description box below, along with the playlist, and be sure you check out everyone's videos to see what everyone came up with. So I had this sweater that I've kind of outgrown, and it had some snags. It just wasn't the best looking sweater anymore. So I decided to reuse it and cover this Dollar Tree trash can and make it into something useful. So I cut a big square out of or rectangle actually, it was longer than it was wide, to cover the trash can with. This is kind of a fly by the seat of my pants project, but I decided to use the nice hemmed edge to be the inside part lining that would kind of show depending on what you put in the basket, but the nice hemmed edge is what is going down inside. And I just wrapped my piece of sweater all around and hot glued it at the top. And since I was using that hemmed edge, I could kind of go by the seam, lay that seam right on the edge where the hot glue was, and that seemed to keep it all nice and straight as I was wrapping this piece of sweater around this trash can. And then I just hot glued down the edges right down to the trash can. And the hot glue kind of wants to go through that little meshy trash can, so I kind of had to be careful so that it didn't drip down and get on the other side of the sweater. I had all this excess sweater at the bottom of the trash can, so I cut that off, leaving about a 2-inch allowance. And then I just pulled the sweater tight and hot glued it down to the bottom. If your sweater is real bulky, you might not want to wrap it around the bottom, or if you do, put something like a piece of cardboard or something circular to help it sit upright. But this was a thin sweater I was working with, so it didn't cause any issues at all with how the trash can sat up. For decorations, I decided to try my hand at making pom-poms, and this is how I did it. And there's various different ways, but this is just how I did it. I grabbed this really large serving fork that I have and wrapped this yarn around many, many, many times until there was a nice, chunky, fat roll of yarn around this fork. I pulled this off of the fork a little prematurely. I should have left it on because it would make this next part a lot easier. Because the next part you will, cut the tail off of your yarn, and then you'll cut a piece of yarn, they say about 6 inches, to tie in the middle of your fat, chunky little ball of yarn. And this would have been simpler if I would have left it on the fork. So here I am wrapping that little 6-inch piece of string around the center of the rolls of yarn, and I'm going to make a double knot. Tie it as tight as you possibly can. Then you go back and cut all the loops that was wrapped around the fork. Give him a nice haircut, and he turns into a nice fluffy little pom-pom. I tied 2 pom-poms together and hot glued them to the edge of my basket. Then I made a bow using the yarn. I wrapped it several times around to give it a lot of loops, and I hot glued it to the basket over the pom-poms. I went back and cut the tails off of my bow because I forgot I was using the pom-poms to be the tails for my bow. To make the little trees, I used an empty cereal box, another old sweater, and this thing that my flannel sheet set came in from Target. It's made of flannel too. I pulled the box apart and laid it all out flat. After Piper got done playing, then I cut off the sides of the box, the top and the bottom, just leaving the front and back of the box. Then I rolled the cardboard into a cone tree-like shape. I used clear packing tape to secure the edges of the tree. Then cut the bottom so that the tree will stand up straight. I used the other side of the cereal box to make a smaller tree. I used the sweater to wrap the larger tree in, so I cut a large rectangle piece of fabric out of the sweater, and then I rolled the tree up in it and hot glued it in place. I cut the excess sweater off the bottom of the tree and then tucked it inside the bottom of the tree and hot glued it in place. Then I tied a piece of the white yarn around the top of the tree and cut off the excess at the top. I cut a piece off of the flannel and wrapped the smaller tree in it in the same way that I did the pink sweater. I made 2 more Pom Poms, each one smaller, and using a regular fork to make those, and hot glued them to the tops of my trees. I used these styrofoam vase filler balls that I got at Dollar Tree. Piper thought they were cereal, but I used them to decorate my pink tree. I think that the flannel tree with the snowflakes already on it, I didn't feel like it needed anything else, but I wanted something to go on this pink tree. So there you have it, trash to treasure. And please make sure you watch everyone's video in the playlist down below. If you're not already a subscriber, please consider hitting that button so every week you can see what me and Piper have been up to. See you next time.